Double kill, triple kill, overkill, killing spree. Extermination.
Yeah, boy.
Shalom, YouTube. It's your boy Micaiah, aka the Hawkeye Hebrew, coming at you with another build video. And today we're playing on the Stam DK. This is a build that I've been trying to put together for quite some time now, and I finally found the right sets that complement each other very well. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the character sheet and check out the stats. As far as our max magicka, we're sitting at 13,000. As far as our max health, we got 25,000 and 25,000 max stam. Our stam recovery is 2,300. And then when you go to the two-hander bar, battle rush, whenever you kill an enemy, you get 30% more stam recovery for 10 seconds. So we'll be looking at 30% on top of the 2,300 that we have. Our weapon damage, let's go check that out. $5,800 weapon damage. So we got 5,800 weapon damage. And our crit on the front bar is low. It's only at 12%, but we got major savagery on the back bar. So our crit on the back bar goes up to 30%. As far as our penetration, we got 8,700 penetration. And our resistances are 23,000 on the front bar and 24,000 on the back bar, and you'll see why that is in a little bit. As far as our attributes, we have 64 points in the stamina. We're using the Warrior Mundus, and we have the triple trife pocket food for basically 5,000 max health and 451 stam recovery. I really like this food. It's kind of like the lava foot soup and salt rice, except it gives health instead of stamina. And as you can see, our race is Khajiit. And the reason why we're using Khajiit is for the little bit of recovery it gives, the tri-stat, the health, magicka, and stamina. And also because of the 12% additional crit damage and crit healing, mainly for the crit healing, which is why on our back bar we're using a bow. On our back bar we got basically 30% crit healing on all of our skills, so you can kind of look at what the tooltips is. Let me see if I can get some of the heals to crit on our back bar. Basic 6,000 for cauterize, 6,000. There we go. There's a crit for the cauterize. Coagulating is at 8K. See 8K. See if I can get one of these to crit. It's usually at like 13K when that crit. It's not, there we go, 13k right there on the coag. So we get some really good crit heals on the back bar. Let's see, let's go into the sets and we'll kind of explain everything in more detail. Our first weapon is the Master Maul, and this is the weapon I've been trying to get to work for a while, but no matter what I do, it just seemed like it never hit hard enough. And basically what the Master Maul does is it increases the direct damage that cleave deals by 1550 for each enemy in the cone. So basically it's not buffing our dot, but it's buffing the direct damage portion. So if you just hit one enemy, you hit them for the 6,000 tooltip with the 1550 in addition to that. So it's like what, 7,500, something like that. But for every enemy that's within the cone of your direct damage portion of the cleave, it adds an additional 1550 for each enemy. So basically, the more enemies in the front of you, the cleave hits harder. And it hits everybody for that same amount. The thing with this is, I don't know, like I said, I could never get the damage high enough. It sounds good on paper, but by itself, it never worked the way I wanted it to. But then we paired it with our first 5-piece set, which is Plague Break. And I think this is the set that kind of gave it the burst that I was looking for. Plague Break gives you 1 line of penetration, 2 lines of weapon damage, and then the 5-piece is when dealing direct damage to an enemy who is not a plague carrier, it turns them into a plague carrier for 10 seconds, dealing 7,430 disease damage. If the plague is removed early, like Templar Purge or the Warden Jelly Netch, it'll explode for 3,392 damage within an 8-meter radius. And everybody it hit, it amplifies that damage by 50%. Now it says if the plague is removed, but also if you kill an enemy with the plague on them, it'll spread or it'll burst that way as well. I think that's what makes the set so nasty. So that's our 5-piece set. And I found that with the cleave damage ramping up and the plague break, it just makes the damage next level. For our second 5-piece set, we have Ancient Dragon Guard. And I really like this set as well because it gives us a line of max health. It gives us a line of weapon and spell damage, the crit, which we need for our back bar heals. And then if the set is golded out, it'll give you 300 weapon and spell damage and 3,400 physical and spell resistance when you drop below 50% health. So you can also factor that into our resistances as well. I know I said we have what? See, on the back bar, I said we had 24,000. You can add that 3,300 from the Ancient Dragon Guard set, and that'll put us up to about 27, 28. And then on my back bar bow, I got powered, but you could go defending, and that'll definitely get you over 30k resistances on the back bar. For my back bar bow, I chose Torix pack just for the 2-piece armor, and I ended up making it powered originally. But like I said, you could go defending and get the more resistances. But with us having 30% crit on our back bar and the powered trait, I really like that because I feel like that takes our healing to the next level. So I'm gonna leave it like that for now. In the gameplay, I was also using dual wield. So I had in the first gameplay, I had bow, which I prefer. And in the second gameplay, I had dual wield. And I think ideally you would want to move, or you would want to use the Black Rose Prison dual wield back here. Let's go back to the set so I can finish covering that. We're in 5 medium and 2 heavy. So we got a medium helm reinforced, heavy chest reinforced, and then we got heavy legs reinforced. Then we have 2 pieces of impin, and see, I think the shoulder, the shoulder was well fitted. So we got 2 well fitted, 2 impin, and 3 reinforce for the traits. And then we got the necklace infused with weapon damage. And then I left both of my rings robust with stam recovery because my max stam was kind of low. And we definitely need the recovery here. So let's go ahead and look at the skills. On our back bar, we're using volatile armor, using cauterize as a heal, and then we're using resolving vigor. These 3 skills pretty much stay the same for me. And right here, I think is one of the flex spots. If you don't want to run coagulating blood, you can go with the shattering shield from the earth and hard skill line. And this will give you, if you take the shattering morph, it gives you major mending for 6 seconds. And it also procs your, where is it at? Minor brutality buff for 20 seconds. So you could definitely go with the shattering back here. And I think in the second gameplay, I had that on. But I end up liking coagulating blood more because I felt like it gave me a second burst heal outside of rally. And then for the bow spec, I'm running elude. But if you switch to maybe the Black Rose Prison back bar, you would want to drop elude and go with blade cloak from the dual wield. And that's what I had in the second gameplay. So basically we needed a way to get major expedition. And on the dual wield spec, I was using the morph of blade cloak for that. But with the bow, I could just roll dodge to get major expedition, and I got elude on. So, and then our back bar ultimate is corrosive armor. I really don't use this as much. For our front bar, we're using noxious breath and fossilize. So here's another flex spot. In the first gameplay, I had fossilize on, which I like better because fully ranked up, it stuns the enemy for 4 seconds and then immobilizes them for another 4 seconds when the stun ends. And this also procs minor brutality as well. The skill that I was using in the second gameplay is a substitute for this. I was just kind of trying out, see which one I like better. But that skill is turn evil. And this skill fears the enemy for 4 seconds. The good thing about both of these abilities is they both go through block, fossilize, and turn evil. So when you playing against that one tanky spec that just want to hold his shield up and not do anything else, you can put some dots on him with noxious, and then with fossilize or turn evil, you drop his block and then hit him with the ult to open him up. Our main heal on the front bar is rally. Our main heal is rally. We're using the master 2H, so that's the reason we have carve here. And I really like this skill. I would definitely take this morph over the other morph. For whatever reason, the other morph ramps up your shield damage, but it's pretty much useless in PvP because people just burst right through the shield anyway. So I would definitely take this morph because it puts a bleed on your enemies and the bleed stacks up to 3 times. The thing that's really nasty with this skill is anytime you're using bleed damage, bleed has the chance to proc minor mangle. And what minor mangle does is it reduces the enemy's health by 10%. Excuse me. So I would definitely take this morph. And then as far as our execute, we're using executioner. You could definitely go with reverse slice because we have a lot of AoE damage, noxious breath, carve, and then for our alt, either Dawnbreaker or leap. So you could definitely take the reverse slice morph if you want. I wanted the extra damage for the execute, so I went with the single target morph. And then I wanted to originally use leap here, but leap kind of picks and choose when it wants to work. Sometime it works and sometime it don't. And there's nothing more frustrating when you're trying to finish somebody off and you clicking the ultimate button and the ultimate won't go off. So I end up dropping Leap and I went with Dawnbreaker. And excuse me, Dawnbreaker has a really good tooltip as well. So with Dawnbreaker, you get a nice burst damage, and then you get a dot at the end. And because of the passive, let me see. Just by having it slotted, you get a bonus 3% more weapon damage. You get more alt on kill. And because of skill tracker, it does 10% more damage. And then if you hit a vampire or a werewolf, it does double that. So 20% more damage to them. So I like having Dawnbreaker as my front bar alt. See, basically talked about why I'm a Khajiit for the crit healing. We're using the bow. I chose the bow, so I got 30% crit on the back bar. All our heals can crit. Definitely want all of your passives for the bow. Since I'm not using any bow abilities, I just took the passive that gives me more crit chance in the major expedition. And I think that's pretty much everything. Obviously want your alchemy up for the medicinal use so you can get the 47-second potions. And that's pretty much everything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. So they'll definitely be on the lookout for more gameplay in the future. And if you like the build video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for future videos. Till the next time, shalom.